Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel Civil Construction and Tutor, and this is the continuation to the video series of ETABS modeling and analysis of a residential building. And previously we concluded our video by defining the load combination, load patterns, load cases, mass source and the diaphragm. And in this video I will continue by modeling the structural elements of the building, that is column, beam and slab. Before that, let me clarify about the sizes of structural elements. So we are provided 300 by 300 mm column, 230 mm by 350 mm beam, and a slab of 125 mm. So these are the standard requirement for a structural designing or structural stability of the residential building according to the seismic consideration. It may not be sufficient for every or for all type of residential building that we are going to analyze. So we will firstly give or provide the standard requirement, and if it doesn't satisfy, then we'll change our structural element sizes. So for drawing the structural elements, let us start with the column. And for drawing column, you have option draw, and here you can select quick draw columns, or you can directly click from over here, but it is not giving this option because we are at the elevation 0. So we have to go at least at the upper story so that we can draw column. So now you can see we have the option over here. Now quick draw column, and select the property as column 300 by 300, that is the rectangular column. Moment releases continuous. So we'll draw column as per our architectural drawing. So you can see for ground floor, first floor and second floor, it is same, that it is similar to corresponding floors, but it is different for third floor because there is no column at this coordinates. So that is the difference, and let us go in the ETABS model. So ground floor 1, select 1 story, and you can see here the column has been drawn. Or you can also do it by selecting all the grid intersection like this. So up to here it is to be done, and for this two grid intersection it will be with the circular column, that is circular column of 300 mm diameter. So it is done. So we have provided the column arrangement for our first floor, and the main point we have to understand is that it is same for second floor, ground floor, first floor and second floor. So we can replicate it for the upper stories. Okay, so let me show you how we can do that. Select all the columns, and then you can replicate it by going to edit option, and you have replicate, and go to story and select the stories that you want to replicate on. So I want to replicate this on story 1 and story 2. So apply. You can see that the column has been drawn for story, ground floor, first floor and second floor. So it makes our work easier. You can do it by this way, or you can also do it by using the concept of master story. So let me show you how you can use the concept of master story. So let me undo everything that I have done till now. So for using the concept of master story, you have to go to add or modify grids, modify or show story data, and we know that ground floor, story 1, story 2 are similar to each other. So you can make any of it as a master story and uncheck for the story 3 because it is not the story that we are going to replicate for. Sorry, no, or you can also keep it as S, it doesn't make any difference. So I'm making story 2 as the master story, and I'll make story 1 and ground floor similar to that of story 2. So now anything I draw or anything I model in this story 2 will be automatically modeled for story 1 and story ground floor. It will be applicable for modeling of structural elements, it will be applicable for applying the load on that particular grid. So you have to be sure about these things. So I'm using the concept of master story. Okay, and now we are at the ground floor, that is z is equal to 3, and make sure that it is similar stories. Okay, now I will draw for one story and it will be replicated for the 3 stories, that are the stories which are similar to each other. So let me draw the column. I'm going to draw the rectangular column first. So it will be for all of these grids intersection. Yes, so you can see that it is automatically drawn for story 1, story 2 and the ground floor. And similarly we will draw the circular column at this intersection points. So it is drawn. So this is how we can work more conveniently and quickly. So this is one point that I wanted to make you clear about. So column has been drawn. Similarly, now we have to draw for the topmost story, that is the top floor, that is story 3. So for which the column arrangement is limited up to this grid. Okay, so select quick draw and rectangular column of 300 by 300 dimension. So it is done, it is okay. Now let me draw beam, and for drawing beam you can either use this option, select beam 230 by 350. So you can use this option. So you can see the beam has been drawn, or you can use this function and click on the grid. So this is also a method of drawing the beam. Okay, and make sure to check this as one story. For now it is not a problem because the third story is not similar to any of the stories. So select one story and make this as beam 230 by 350, and we can directly draw for all of it. So it is okay. And for remaining other stories, make sure you will not draw, we are not going to draw the plinth beam. If you see here, it will draw the plinth beam which we will not model in ETABS. So now let us draw for the remaining stories. I will use the concept of similar stories again. So going to z is equal to 3 and I will draw this. Okay, so the column and the frame element has been made. You can also see without it. Let us remove the grid so we can up view and set grid visibility off. So as you can see, this is our frame element. Okay, so the frame element has been modeled. Now let us provide support or restraints at the base of the column. So there is simple conflict regarding the type of support that will be provided for the column base depending upon the type of footing, whether it is our mat footing or raft footing or isolated footing. Generally for a fixed support, if we provide a fixed support, this will exert additional stress on the soil and the foundation must fulfill the strength requirement such as moment and axial capacity and overturning resistance, in which you may experience this in the case of rigid frames or pile foundation as well as the raft foundation. So support fixation in ETABS is not required except for those situations. However, for more realistic modeling, you may apply spring stiffness underneath the columns if they are founded on the isolated footing or underneath the raft cell. And for isolated footing, it's better to provide hinge as there won't be any fixity as there is in the piled or raft footing. Okay, it is somehow debatable. Some people will provide fixed support for isolated footing, and some people will provide a hinge support. So this is up to your choice, but for now I will be providing fixed support, considering that the structure below the soil is rigid and fixed. So let us go to the base level and select all the nodes. Okay, all the joints have been selected, and we'll assign as joint restraints, and we'll select fixed support, that is translation along all axes and rotation about all axes are restrained. Apply. So you can see that the fixed support has been provided. And let us go to the extruded view. So you can see that our frame element has been modeled properly. Transparency tolerable, let us. So this is our frame element, this being the circular column. So we have been or we have completed the modeling of the frame element. Now let us model the slab element. We have to make sure that the staircase section should be provided as a void, that is there won't be slab at the staircase section. And also we have a small slab projection, or we have a small slab just beside the staircase. So we have to provide an additional reference plane, and we'll draw this slab. So for the slab here, let me get the dimension. So from the central column, and so it is 1.1 meter. So either you can provide an additional grid line, or you can use the shortcut way of copying the beam. Okay, I'll replicate this. Go to the replicate command, and linear, keeping it as a linear, we will replicate this along y-axis only. So 1.1 meter positive, and keeping it as 0. So you will see that it has been copied at a distance of 1.1 meter, and keeping it as a similar story, it has been done for all the floors except the topmost floor. And as we said that for this section we will provide a secondary beam. So for now, right click on it, and you will see that it is beam 230 by 350 mm. So I have to assign this as a different beam, that is the secondary beam. So go to assign frame section property. We have selected this, and and go to frame section properties, select secondary beam, apply. So as you can see here, it is secondary beam. Now it has shown us the level, section level of all the beam. So you can check also beam 230. So none of these are provided with the column property, so it is beam. This is also how we can check. And before that, let me section properties and go to show on deformed shape, and it will go, that is the label will go. So if you are using the direct X mode, then you will see that it will not show us the selected mode. I have clicked on the beam, but it will not show us the selection mode. So this may be a problem. So it is better if you use standard graphics. Now you see it is being selected. Now let us draw the slab. For drawing slab, you can go draw and floor or wall element, and you have draw floor, rectangular floor, quick draw floor. So we'll use this shortcut key again. So if you want to draw slab by clicking on the nodes like this, let me show you. Select the property which is a slab, we have defined it previously, and keeping it as a similar stories, we have to click on all the nodes. Okay, and we have selected 1 2 3 4, right click, and it will draw the slab element. As you can see here, it has been drawn. Let us go select on extruded view. So either you can draw like this, or you can also draw it by using the draw rectangular flow command, by using, and it will require two intersection point. Press on the first point and continuously move to the second point, and it will draw the slab element. Thirdly, you can use a shortcut key that is directly for a rectangular. Just come to the just select the closed boundary and it will draw the slab. So according to our architectural drawing, we have slab at every box except for the staircase section. So let me draw it. So as you can see here, at this point we have to provide a void. Okay, so for this I'll use rectangular floor option. So this is how we can draw, and at the topmost floor the staircase section will not be void, it will be a complete slab throughout the section. So we are done with the slab. No, we have a balcony, so we'll provide here as well. And also we have a slab projection at the corners, so it is of 75 mm. So again I will use the concept of replicating. Go to edit, select replicate, and for this time it is along x-axis, so keeping this as 0 and this as 75 centimeter, so it will be 0.75. Apply, and similarly along this axis, and for now it is negative x-axis. Okay, so click so provide negative 0.75. Apply, so it is done. And let us draw the slab. So we are done with drawing the slab at this, that the cantilever slab. We will delete this beam because there is no any beam provided at this section. Delete. Similarly, let us draw for this cantilever projection. Okay, so let us check our 3D model. Set grid visibility off. So we are done with the modeling of the structural elements of our RC building. I will not draw staircase in this particular video because it will make our video more longer. I will directly put the load of staircase on the beam on which the staircase will be supported. As we know that the staircase is supported on the beam. I will make a separate video by to show how a staircase is modeled in ETABS. And for a residential building, small residential building, it is not necessary to model a staircase because it will bring a lot of eccentricity in the building. So it is okay with just applying this load of the staircase on the beam. So after modeling the structural elements, now we have to assign diaphragm to the floor level. As we said, that diaphragm action basically transmits the lateral force to the vertical component, for which we have to select all the horizontal elements, and this can be done from the plan view. So in case of the landing slab, we will not select it because landing slab will be at the mid level of the floor, and as we said that the diaphragm action is to be, or the diaphragm is to be assigned to the nearly horizontal elements. Let us select, and now we have provide diaphragm to each floor respectively. So use one story. Let us go to story 3, sorry, story 1, that is ground floor. Select all the nearly horizontal elements, that is the slab elements or floor elements, and go to assign joint diaphragm. Now select D1. You can also modify from here also, or you can also add even. So apply. So diaphragm has been assigned to floor 1. And if you want to delete the diaphragm, then select all, disconnect, then it will be disconnected. Okay, but for now let us select D1, and for next floor D2, similarly D3, select again and assign diaphragm 4. So diaphragm 1 2 3 4, it is done. So we are done with the modeling of the structural elements of our building. Now let us check our model for any mistakes in the modeling process. So for this, go to analyze and check model, select all. Okay, now let's wait until the checking has been completed. So that means no model has been checked and no warning messages were generated. If there were some mistakes in our building, then it will show in this particular display. For example, overlapping of the structural elements, improper interconnection of the structural elements. So these are the mistakes that can be found during the modeling, and due to such mistakes there may occur a vast difference in the results provided by the analysis. For example, different or unusual time period of the building that may occur due to the improper connection of the elements or overlapping of the elements. So that may be checked during the modeling of the structural elements. And finally, we are done with the video. In the next video we'll discuss about applying the load to the structural elements. Thank you. Do like and subscribe.